I'm 30 and I'm single, and something that I quickly had to learn while dating at my 30s is that 30 or plus year old men would much rather date women that are on their early 20s than women that are 30 or plus years old.
No.
Okay.
No.
I think the reason for that is because when you turn 30, you hit this wall where you don't take the same shit that you used to take while you were in your 20s. For example, when I was at my 20s, a guy would say, yeah, you know, like, I just need time. I cannot be in a serious relationship with you right now. And I would go for it and I would entertain this man.
He cold. She belongs to the streets.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to your favorite mummy on the internet, unironically. Today, guys, we will be talking about the wall. Not the great Chinese one, but rather one that comes with women's own actions and consequences. You know, I love me some good plate of rightful condemnation. But now, guys, before we get started, I want to show you a meme. You know, lately, women have been choosing bears in mass. But nobody has asked how the bears feel about it, right? So here's the meme. The bear is traumatized from all these women. And you know, guys, the question always revolves around whether the woman prefers the bear or the men. But nobody asks the bears. Like, nobody asks if the bear will feel safe alone in a forest with a miserable 30-year-old with pink hair, alright? So I've been hearing, guys, that they even have this own movement, big toe, bears going their own way. So hey, I wish them luck with that. But now, guys, let's get started with today's episode, as we have Ampu here. This video is brought by Modern Woman Archives. Don't think that Ampu is trying to defame him by covering his logo. He just likes to sit there. But now, guys, let's get started and let's see why these lovely women are single over 30.
I'm 30 and I'm single, and something that I quickly had to learn while dating at my 30s is that 30 or plus year old men would much rather date women that are on their early 20s than women that are 30 or plus years old. And
I mean, look, Queen, not necessarily. There's this, you know, saying around that women in their 30s are post-wall, they're not so attractive, they come with a lot of baggage. Guys, I think it comes to preferences. Like the other day, I was at the bakery and I wanted to buy a fresh, warm, delicious bread. And so the cashier was going to hand it to me, but I said, no, you know what? Instead, give me the other one, this one that fell behind the corner a week ago and is stale and has been eaten away by rats and cockroaches. Yes, I want that one, please. And I said, you know what? In fact, you don't even need to give me a lower price for it. I want to pay full price for that stale bread. You know what? I'll go even further. I'll even pay you double the price for that stale bread with 14 different kinds of bacteria on it. Because that's just what I like. You know, it comes down to preferences, guys. So not necessarily, you know, but let's continue.
I think the reason for that is because when you turn 30, you hit this wall where you don't take the same shit that you used to take while you were in your 20s. For example, when I was at my 20s, a guy would say, yeah, you know, like, I just need time. I cannot be in a serious relationship with you right now. And I would go for it and I would entertain this man. If a man comes today and says, hey, I'm not ready for a serious relationship, it's like, babe, you're 30. The hairline is going back. Like, what else do you need time for? So I quickly had to realize that I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time single. And
Yes, you are. She says, well, your hair is, you know, no longer there. Well, and your eggs are probably no longer there as well. Or will soon be, right? Like, we can just sit here and insult each other all day. But the fact of the matter is, we're not going to take you in, right? You come bragging like, oh, now I know my worth, guys. Here's the prize. Now I know my worth. You can thank God for it. I came to the epiphany, to the realization. No, we don't care. We don't even care if you come to that realization or not. The fact that other men got for free what you're willing to tax us now at a higher price is a bad deal for men, you know? Just talking business, guys.
Have to be okay with it because I cannot go back to my 20s. I also don't want to. I love being 30 and the maturity and consciousness that I have now.
Oh, good for you.
Listen, here's the thing. If you become a divorced mother in your mid to late 30s, I want you to recognize that you are going to witness other women who are similar to you, who are snagging the young bucks, okay? They are robbing the cradle. They're getting the guys who were barely alive when 9/11 happened. And that's all fine and dandy. But I'm here to tell you, as one of those bitches, that it's not all that it's chalked up to be, okay? It's actually not all that great. I mean, my family is harassing me left and right, asking what I'm doing, wondering why I look so old, standing next to this little baby boy. I mean, I got humbled real quick this morning when my mom called and said that she made me an appointment to get Botox so I don't look so old next to him. This is just the reality, ladies, okay? And I don't feel like I even look that old for my...
Damn, what a burner. I don't think she looks that old also. For a woman in her 50s, I think she looks quite well.
age. But listen, when it looks like you could be nursing your son and your new man at the same time, this is a problem. This is a problem, and it's become a problem for me.
Well, you know what, guys? I think I'm getting the point of the bears here. If I was a bear, I will be honestly frightened to be left alone in a forest with a woman like this. And you know, guys, just advice. If you need to hear it, which you don't, you already know, but a woman that calls herself the B word is not dating material. Some of you are shocked, I can see. Guys, I don't even need to clown these women. They clown themselves already. Like, they go on the internet and they post all their else. They post how their family is trashing them, and they call themselves the B word. It's like, alright, well, I have to agree with you.
I want to talk about being single and wanting to be loved. I'm currently on a trip on my own in Costa Rica, and something really amazing happened to me today. I'm coming towards the end of my trip and I'm getting a little bit in my feels, and I made a video, it's a couple of videos back, talking about rejection and the fact that I started this year experiencing lots of different rejections, both personally and professionally. Some of those were, of course, in the world of dating, and it just made me think, God, is this ever going to happen for me? Now, I talk a lot about being single and being happy, and I think that no one is perpetually happy. No one is happy 100% of the time. It's just...
Whoa, I cannot believe a woman said these words. Tell it to all the women who get divorced because they are, in fact, not happy 100% of the time. But guys, I just wanted to mention, I think I'm seeing a pattern here. And it has to do with these women's ages. They're all 30 and above, you know? You never see women in their 20s saying the same talking points. Saying how they don't want to play the game of, you know, hooking up. They don't want to deal with... They don't want to entertain men who are going to waste their time. They just want to find love and find commitment. You know why we don't see these videos? Because the women who have this approach, right now as we speak, they are married, taking care of their children, or having a family dinner. Right? They're just not on TikTok posting their else and talking about their rejection all the time. It's that easy. Like, at 20s, guys, is when women decide their fate. It's when they make their choices. Men have a different sort of game because men continuously build up and keep improving, or at least should. But for women, it really comes down to the choices you make in your 20s. When these women reach 30, for most of them, it's already over. They've already made their choice and they've made it pretty clear. Now, guys, let's continue.
It's not possible. However, in general, I'm incredibly happy because I just don't want to settle. I know the kind of relationship that I want, and so I'm willing to hold out for that relationship. However, there are days where I'm just like, oh, I would really like to start that journey now. I would really like to start that journey with somebody. And today was one of those days. I woke up and I was feeling, you know, a little bit kind of like emotional and a little bit like, I don't know if this is ever going to happen. And then all of those kind of old thoughts and patterns come up for me, like, what's wrong with me? Why does no one want me? Boo-hoo. But I reckon...
Oh, it's so sad, guys. I've had tears falling down my eye. Just so sad right now. These women feel like commitment is a switch, right? It's just, oh, today I'm feeling independent and empowered. Let me go to a club and shake up with 4 guys. But the day after, oh, I'm feeling so sad. Why does nobody love me? Why do they just use me for my body? And they just want to turn the switch on and for a relationship to materialize. But when they don't want to, especially in their 20s, when they just want to mess around, they turn the switch off And all the guys who want something serious with them, they dismiss them. How convenient, isn't it, guys? I just wish, you know, the world will be such a better place if women got what they wanted all the time. If they could just use men for all their whims, for all their desires. If men would be just complacent little puppies that have no opinions or preferences, the world will be just so convenient for them. Sadly, it's not the case.
Now, and I'm very aware, self-aware, that those are just thoughts and they're not actually a reality, so I choose not to buy into them because now I have that choice. So anyway, I took myself to breakfast because I was like, I need to eat something. I took my journal. I'm like, I'm going to just journal this all out and I'm going to feel so much better. And as I was sitting down to have my breakfast with my journal, my holiday friends that I made on a trip yesterday came down for breakfast and they were leaving this morning, and I was so happy to see them because I thought they'd already left. And I don't know if you believe in coincidences or serendipity or the universe or whatever, but I certainly do. And one of the women, Ro, started telling me a story about how she'd been single for 14 years and then she has now met this incredible man and she's in love. She's just turned 39. They've been together for like the last year or so. And she also told me that her mum didn't meet her now husband of 15 years until she was 43. She didn't meet the love of her life until she was 43. I'm of the belief that we definitely have more than one love of our life or one soulmate. I think there are many, many people, and I think for the different versions of us that we are, there are many different junctions that we can take.
Oh no, of course. Of course, the universe, God, or whatever you may call it, has prepared your ideal soulmate 10 out of 10 match for, in fact, not every period, but every single day. Like every day that you wake up, depending on your mood, God has one guy in store for you that is a 10 out of 10 and is just waiting for you around the corner. That's how it works. That's how life works, if you don't know, guys. Everything has to be accommodated to these women's desires. The rules of the universe have to change and bend to accommodate to these women's needs. Because otherwise we cannot exist. We cannot exist with the idea that maybe we have to put some effort to get the men we wanted, right? We need a new word for delusional, guys, because the old one doesn't do the job anymore. And also let me mention that, oh my, we found one woman, two in fact, that managed to get a relationship above 40. Wow. Yeah, don't give this woman hope. Yeah, you found two women that did this. Think about all the rest. Think about all the thousands of women who are just like you, single and miserable. Don't think about the two ones that coincidentally, magically, for some inexplicable reason to me, managed to find a relationship in their 40s. Alright? But again, it's just these women want to believe in the most convenient narrative possible, the one that requires the least amount of effort and accountability. So nothing new under the sun, I guess.
But when I heard her tell this story, it just filled my heart with so much joy. And I was just like, that's the hope and faith. That's the hope and faith. Because the person that I'm going to be with exists. They're alive, living their life somewhere. And when the time is right, I'm going to meet them. And that was the message that I needed to be reminded of. And that was the message that I got this morning. So whether you're male, female, if you're single and you do want a relationship, some people don't, and that's absolutely fine. And sometimes you find yourself kind of losing hope. I think it's really, really important to remember that timing is everything. Enjoy your life right now, and when you're meant to meet that person, you will.
And there's the philosophy that has brought us in this place in the first, in first instance. That's the philosophy. I don't have a clock. Life should bend around all my needs. Men have no preferences at all. They should just exist when I need them to, surrounding me. And that's how we get to 30 and we are single and miserable. Guys, this is just... the video speaks for itself. So, no further comments, guys. Leave me yours if you want, but don't quit the video already. I want to read a Reddit story, right? We're going to continue with this trend of reading Reddit stories, and you tell me how you feel about them. But now, this is a short one, and excuse me guys, I'll just dematerialize for a moment, so you can read better, if you don't mind me. This is written by a man. You're a great guy, but text and getting over it. So this guy, he doesn't specify his age, but he must be young, right, as we can see. He asks, how do you get over continuously being told you're such a great guy, but seemingly never good enough for them to date? is this just something women say to guys to not make them feel as bad when dumping them? I mean, look, my dude, you're such a great guy, but is the female equivalent of what chads like to say of, you're a precious girl, I'm just not ready for a relationship. It's the same, which basically is dismissing them. All right. At what point do you just come to terms with the fact you probably aren't that great of a guy, and women just say it because they think it'll make you feel better? Just a note here, you're not that great of a guy for these women. Important clarification there. Don't let it get to your head. I'm having a really hard time wrapping my head around how someone can be a great guy while simultaneously never being good enough for anyone to date. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? It's also interesting, it's 2 days ago we covered a video where a man was perfect. He covered all the boxes, yet this woman dismissed him. Guys, you have to learn that ticking off these boxes will not get you a woman, alright? And this is why I like having these channels, and this is why I will always say that, you know, you have to take advice from men when it comes to dating, not from women. I know it seems logical in first instance to say, but women are the ones who choose men, so shouldn't I ask them? No. You ask the fisherman how to catch a fish, not the fish, as the saying goes. Because these women, guys, they just lie. Maybe it's not ill-intentioned. Maybe they just don't know, and a lot of these women don't know what they want. But also, they just like to, you know, change the truth. They say they want thing, yet they want another. So don't listen to them. They'll say how they want a great guy that is in touch with his feelings, that is understanding, you know, that talks through problems and all that. And then they dismiss those guys. Those same guys that they say they want, yeah, they're the ones that they're not getting crap at all. But let's finish the Reddit story now. It's completely destroyed my confidence and self-worth, being constantly reminded I'm never good enough. Any advice is greatly appreciated. So I wanted to read this, guys, because I know a lot of men are going through this, especially the guys who are younger. The guys who are older, if you ask them, they've already been there, done that, and they've, you know, managed to overcome it. They've come to the realization of what is actually happening. But a lot of these guys, they're young, they are naive, they think that everything, you know, everything flies, and it's just not the case. And look, first things first, don't let other people's opinions about you shape your view of yourself. Now, I know this sounds a little like coping, a little like being delusional, but in other instances in life, yes, you might. But in this one specifically, when it comes to dating, guys, really, don't listen to these women. Because you see what these women are picking, right? These women are picking the chads, the bad boys that get them pregnant and then leave. So don't ask those kinds of people what their opinion about you is in regards to dating. Alright, I'm not coping, I'm just saying things for what they are. Don't take advice from these people. We can clearly see that they're not making the right choices themselves. So that's first things. Now, second thing, what does it mean? It just means you're not a top 5 or top 10% of guys in the looks department. That's what it means. You can be a beautiful human individual, which I don't know if you are. Just keep working on yourself. But when it comes to you're a great guy, but they just don't like you physically. It doesn't imply that you're necessarily ugly. It's just you're not better than the next guy. That's what your great guy means. They see you. They may even like you in some other circumstance, but they have one guy who is better, right? So you can't compete with everyone all the time. And lastly, moving on to the part where he says that it's destroyed his confidence. This is why, guys, I think that dating apps are so damaging for men, because they're not a clear representation of what life is, or at least should be. Like, you're not supposed to compete on this level with thousands of men. You're not supposed to compete with the whole state in which you're living, all right? I don't think that's the way it's intended. And these guys, they're trying to have the life that their fathers led and their grandfathers led, and they just think that by being a nice guy, women will value you. Like, there are a lot of guys in today's society that if you take them a century back, they will be extremely famous among women, and a lot of women will want them and admit that they need them. But even how the game works today. These guys are just not getting crap, right? We have some way above average guys that are not getting anything, guys. So again, don't let it get to your head. My advice is work on yourself, work on the things you like, work on the type of man you want to be, and you're probably not gonna find a wife. So it's I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, guys. Even if you become the best version of yourself, there's a high likelihood that if you're not attractive, the only chances at a serious relationship you may have with these women that we covered on the video that are 30 plus, they've wasted all their opportunities and now they want to have a nice retirement plan with you, which of course you're not going to do, right? It's just the side in which we live in. I believe that there are some traditional women out there, really nice women. It's not the problem that they don't exist. It's the problem is in the amount that we have, right? We just don't have the amount of good traditional women for the amount of good guys that we have. And so all the ones are taken. You can try your luck. You can just keep working on yourself and keep trying for these women, waiting to find them. You can become a passport bro and go to another country. That's absolutely fine and respectable. And it's the best thing you can do, honestly. But if you want to stay where you live, if you want to replicate the life that your father had, you're probably not going to succeed in that. But hey, we're going to leave the video right here, guys. Tell me if this has happened to you. You're a great guy conversation, right? But now, boys, I'll leave you off here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for visiting my tomb. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one.